Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Naomi, and let's dream about beauty. In today's video, I have for you part 2 of my eyeshadow palette collection and declutter. So if you're interested in seeing my palettes and which ones I'm going to part with, then just keep on watching. Okay, so let's begin. We are doing this collection alphabetically. So far I have gone through A through D. However, I do have some new BH Cosmetics palettes. So let's go back to B and we'll go over these BH Cosmetics palettes. The first one is the Cotton Candy Sweet Shop palette. So this Sweet Shop collection has been a huge hit for BH Cosmetics. The orange one, the blue one, and the green one are sold out, and they are limited edition, so I do not know if they are coming back. But the last time I looked, the following 3 palettes that I do have are available. Now these palettes feel quite luxurious. The packaging is very nice and they have a good solid feel to them. The pan sizes are quite large and the shades are absolutely beautiful. So we have a top row of shimmers and a bottom row of mattes. So I just received these, I'm going to say about a week ago, and I haven't had the chance. They've just been sitting in my haul basket, so not H-A-L-L haul basket, but H-A-U-L, the basket I keep all the stuff in that I collect for a haul video. So that is the Cotton Candy palette. And the next one is the Cherry on Top palette. So this got some pretty good reviews. I know Angelica Nyquist really likes it. So again, it has the 4 shimmers on top and the mattes on the bottom. I have not swatched it. I haven't used it. Like I said, it's brand new, but it is beautiful. And I can't wait to try it out. The next one is the Sugar Cone palette from the Sweet Shop collection. It is the neutral palette. And let's swatch this one here. These do have a nice warm neutral texture to them, I mean color. Very pretty. So that is the Sugar Cone palette. Okay, so next we have the Drop Dead Gorgeous Full On Crazy palette. This is what it looks like. The silver came a little mushed. I haven't used it yet. It's, I just decided to order it because I wanted to try it out. I liked the light blue, this blue as well. Let's swatch. They feel very soft. Ooh, that's gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Wow, you and I are seeing this for the first time together. Oh my God. That is beautiful. I can hardly wait to be doing a look with this palette. This is their Halloween collection, or part of their Halloween collection. So that is the Drop Dead Gorgeous Full On Crazy palette. And yeah, those swatches were crazy. That's correct. Another new one is the Weekend Vibes Blueberry Muffin palette from BH Cosmetics. This is a beautiful cool toned color story, and has some pretty blues. I love the packaging. The packaging is really, really pretty. Let's try that one and that one. Ooh, very nice. BH Cosmetics has just upped their game lately. And it's great because it's so affordable. That's what I like best about it. And their shipping times aren't that long. Like I'd say from the States I got these palettes in a little over a week, so that's not too bad. ColourPop usually takes about 2 weeks to get to me. Next we have the avocado toast. Now I originally bought this for a giveaway that I did, and Just Nina won that. And I try not to look too much at the palette just because I didn't want to, you know, mess it up or anything because it wasn't mine. But since then I had the opportunity to see it online a little bit more, so I decided I'd order another one for myself. So let's just swatch 2 of the shades. Ooh, that green is really nice. It was so soft, like butter. And this is really pretty too. Very pigmented. Okay, so that's the avocado toast from BH Cosmetics. Next we have from Hip Dot the Zion palette. This is what it looks like. I have not swatched this. I haven't used it. I got it in BoxyCharm and I am going to declutter it. I don't have anything against it. I quite like the colors in it. The color scheme is very nice. It's just that I probably won't use it because I have these colors elsewhere. So I would rather give it to somebody else who will use it. Next we have the Hip Dot Boss is Beauty palette. Love the packaging. It's really pretty. And this is what it looks like. Again, it's very pretty. It has a really nice warm color story. It reminds me actually of the Desert Dusk from Huda Beauty. However, I will be decluttering this palette too. Same reason as the one previously. I have so many palettes, I need room for ones that I prefer, and as much as I like this color story, it's just not going to get used. So I would rather give it to somebody who will love it and use it. Next we have the Queen palette from Eloise Beauty. This is not a brand that I am familiar with. We got these palettes in BoxyCharm. It is a very, very pretty color story. I can barely fit it in the frame. I think it's gorgeous. Again, I won't use it. It's just not, I have these colors elsewhere in palettes I would prefer to use. So this will be going to a good home. Okay, so next we have the Huda Beauty, my Huda Beauty collection. So first we have the Nude Light, and that is what it looks like. I especially like this matte right here and this shimmer right here. You can see that's really nicely pigmented. Both of them look amazing. Next we have the Huda Beauty Nude Medium. And this is what it looks like. I do prefer this color story to the light. Just because I prefer a palette where I can get some depth. Next we have the Huda Beauty Mauve Obsessions palette. I really like this one. I think it's so pretty. I love this light pink shimmer And this nice cool toned matte. Again, nice pigmentation there. Next we have the Huda Beauty Warm Brown Obsessions. And that is what it looks like. Not my favorite, but I've only used it once, so I really have to give it another try. Of course, as you all know, warm tones, warm colors are not my favorite, but as far as warm goes, this one's pretty good. I like this nice deep brown color right there. Next we have the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions. Great palette. Love this silver. Very pretty. And this one right here too is very nice. Really do a pretty look with that. Next we have the Green Neon Obsessions palette. This is what it looks like. Some of these are topper shades and some of them have a little bit more pigment to them. But they're very pretty. I need to use this palette more often. You can see that one here, this last one I did is more of a topper shade. This one is a little bit more opaque and then this one has good opacity to it. Okay, and then I have the full set of the Gemstone Obsessions. So starting with Ruby. And I did get quite a nice look out of this. You can see that is a really pretty color. The Emerald, my favorite one in this one is this one, although it is a chunky shade. Very pretty. Sapphire. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow. Topaz. And last but not least, Amethyst. My complaint with Amethyst is that, you know, considering it's amethyst and you're expecting purple tones, you've got a lot of pink in this particular palette. Next we have the Huda Beauty Rose Gold Palette Remastered. I love this. I think it is beautiful. Anything with flowers on it. So that is really pretty. I need to use this more often. It has a good balance between shimmers and mattes. The bottom row is all mattes, and the second row is half mattes, half shimmers, and the top row is all shimmers. The shadows, some of the shadows are very soft. But you can see that's pretty good pigmentation there. My hand's getting so shiny. Next we have the Huda Beauty Nude. That is what this one looks like. I remember when she first came out with it, these shimmers here that have the kind of chunkier pieces to them were new. Nobody had seen that before. And I rushed to buy this. One of my OG palettes that I've had for a long time is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. And this would be the reason why I am decluttering that Hip Dot palette, because this is so similar. That's a pretty color. Then we have this pressed glitter, which is I'm not a fan of. This angelic shade is pretty, but it is a bit dry feeling. Retrograde. So out of the hooded palettes I have, this one is my least favorite and my least used. I think it has just such a warm color story, but because I love Huda Beauty and I do consider myself a little bit of a collector of Huda Beauty, I'm not getting rid of it. But if it wasn't for that, I probably would declutter the Desert Dusk. This is the Mercury Retrograde. This is my favorite of the Huda Beauty large palettes. This and this right here are just absolutely beautiful. I mean, this in particular is one of my favorite shades that I have in my whole collection because I just love that silvery lilac color, and it is gorgeous. I love this palette. It has lots of mattes. It has a good combination between warm and cool. It's just everything I could ever want in a palette. It has some darker shades for depth. It has some lighter shades for adding highlight to the inner corner or to the brow bone. So it's really everything you could ever want. Beautiful. Okay, and next we have the Jeffree Star Blood Sugar palette. I haven't looked at this in a long time. It's very warm toned. I haven't used it very much, I just wanted it, but now that I look at it again, now that I actually like warmer tones a little bit more, I can see lots of possibilities. Unfortunately, having a YouTube channel and the way that the YouTube world feels about Jeffree Star right now, it's a little bit of you know, catch-22, because he makes beautiful makeup, really, really good quality makeup, but if you don't really care for him personally and you question his choices and his morals, it makes it difficult to use his makeup. For me, my thoughts on it are that I am not going to celebrate him, and I'm not going to go out of my way to, you know, really exhibit him on my channel, but I did pay for this makeup and I do like it, so I'm not going to get rid of it either. The next one is that I rushed to get is the Blue Blood, and I just think this is a beautiful palette. Of course, blue is my favorite color, so I think this is just gorgeous, and I haven't used it very often, I think just because I like it to stay in kind of pristine condition, but I do want to use it more often, get some good looks out of it. It has a nice selection of shimmers and mattes, some lighter tones and some depth. So yeah, it really is a palette that has everything to it. So, and the packaging is gorgeous. I don't mind cumbersome packaging because I do display all my palettes. I don't store them away in drawers. So, and next we have the Thirsty palette. So I really bought this because I liked the middle row so much. But I think I'm going to declutter this because I have the same shades that are in the middle row. I have that and those in other palettes that I like better. And I'm a little bit bewildered by the bottom row. I don't really know what to do or how to use that yellow or that blue or that turquoise. And the top row, you know, if I'm going to go for those kind of colors, I would just probably use the Blood Sugar palette or one of my other warmer tone palettes. So I don't know. I think that this one's kind of on a chopping block. We'll see how I feel. I'll give it some thought. But for now, it's semi-decluttered. And my favorite Jeffree Star palette that I have is the Cremated. As all of you know that I love warm or cool toned and cool tone shadows, and this is just absolutely up my street. So it's interesting how he did this with the darker colors first and then it goes to lighter colors. I do like that layout. It makes it easier to see when you want, you know, to deepen up your crease or you want to do some highlighting. So I think that there's a nice balance between mattes and shimmers. Let's swatch something here. So this is a bit crumbly, but it is really a very pretty dark shade. It has that nice shine to it. And then this one right here is another one of my favorites. I love silver. This is beautiful. I love that color. It has a little bit of taupe to it, so it's not entirely silver. It's like a taupey silver, which is one of my favorite colors to use for eyeshadow. So that is the Jeffree Star Cremated palette. Okay, so next we have the joliebomb.com palette. I saw somebody showing this in their palette collection and I just fell in love with it and I had to have it, so I ordered it all the way from the UK. Unfortunately, back then I didn't really know how I felt about pressed glitter. And the only reason I don't like to use pressed glitter is because I feel like it's just, I can barely fit this in the frame. I just feel like it's difficult to work with. When I look at this, it is so visually pleasing. I think it's beautiful, but it's messy. And if I'm going to use glitter, there are lots and lots of beautiful liquid glitters that are much easier to use. So that's how I feel about this, so it is being decluttered. Alright, now on to my Juvia's Place collection. This is the Saharan 2. I've used this a few times. I am a big fan of this blue right here. I think that is one of the best sort of turquoise blues I have in my collection. It is beautiful. I would like to use this palette more. I'm a little bit afraid of these colors down here, but like I said before, since I'm becoming a little bit more comfortable with warm toned looks, I am going to be diving into this shortly. Next we have the Nubian 3 Coral palette. I think this is a very interesting color story. I love that you can go in so many different directions. Well, man, maybe not so many different directions, but I mean there are two obvious directions you can do. You can go, well, three. I mean, you can combine the colors. You could go coral. You could go silver. You could even, I mean, there's this kind of taupey color down here that is interesting. So there is a lot to this palette, more than what you might think just upon seeing it. I know a lot of people were a little bit bewildered by it when it first came out, just because it's like, well, what do I do with this? Because the corals, the warm corals, don't really go with the cool grays. But I think it is actually a very clever color story, and yeah, just looking at it makes me want to use it. Let's swatch a shade while I have it out. So that one is, I think, meant to be more of a topper shade. It's not giving a lot of opacity. Let's try this one. So you're getting a little bit more opacity there. Again, you can see that it's not a true silver, that it does have some taupe in it, which I love. So that is the Nubian 3 Coral. Next we have the Deuce palette. Now, I actually have never used this. I have swatched it, but I have never used it. I am really dying to use this shade right here. Very pretty, and this green is also Ooh, look at that. I love that. So yeah, a very pretty palette. I just bought it at a time when I had so many other new palettes that it kind of got lost in the mix and it just never got used. So I will have to rectify that. That was the Deuce by Juvia's Place. Next we have a palette that has been discontinued. This is the Tribe. Very popular palette. It's on a lot of people's favorite lists. My favorite shade in here is this one. Very pale gold, and I think it's beautiful. My other favorite shade is this, which I would call a dark teal, and it is very pretty as well. In fact, those two colors look nice together, don't they? So that is the Tribe palette. Next we have the Zulu, another popular palette that a lot of people have. This is a very bright palette and it intimidates me, I'm not going to lie, because I really don't know how to put a look together using this particular palette. I guess maybe you could go like these three colors here, but because I'm such a fan of monochromatic looks, it is, yeah, been something that I've struggled to use. So, which is interesting because for a couple of years there I was buying a lot of bright palettes like this, and then it took me a while to realize that they're not my favorite. I do prefer the monochromatic palettes that make it easier to figure out how to put a look together, but that doesn't mean I don't want to use it. So it is very pretty, and I think it's something that I would take on holiday with me or maybe use in the summertime. It's not really, I mean, I suppose there are some more fall kind of colors in there, but these are the two colors that I like the best in that palette. I love actually this color blue and this color green together. It's one of my favorite color combinations. Very pretty. And that is the Zulu. So now going to an OG palette from Juvia's. This is the Magic. I have the big size because the small one wasn't available. And I do find this to be a very clever color story where you have the top two rows are warm, the bottom two rows are cool. You can see the artwork is intending to have a cool and warm combination, a balance. And of course the bottom two rows are my favorite, this and this. These two shades here. Sorry, I'm having a hard time fitting. Ooh, I love this shade right here. These are beautiful. I need to use this palette more often. Isn't that the case when you go through your palettes to do this kind of video and you go, wow, that's so nice. Why haven't I used that lately? Well, it's because I have 159 other palettes that I could choose that are all beautiful. So, you know, what do you do? So now I have two more Juvia's palettes. There is the Masquerade. Again, I can't fit the whole thing on the screen. I think it's a beautiful color story. I haven't used it too much. I would like to use it more, but you know what I just already mentioned. Ooh, look at that. Oh my God, look at that blue. Like, this brand has the best metallics, I tell you. Like, so beautiful. That purple is really nice. And last but not least, we have the Juvia's Place Wahala palette. This is a pretty palette. There is no question about that. I'm not a fan of the pressed glitters, but I do enjoy some of the other colors. That green, the pink, the purples are very nice. Let's swatch this one and this one and this one down here. These are all just solid metallics, like really good pigmentation, goes on like butter, feels nice, very nice. Okay, so next we have the Kaleidos Futurism palettes. This is the Kaleidos Futurism 1, the Sci-Fi Green. This is what it looks like. I've heard that people think that this is one of the best black shades in their collections. It is a beautiful green palette. It has a nice, like I said, I do enjoy this kind of color scheme more just because it is easy to see how to put the look together. You know, you can start out with this color, go with this color, deepen with this color, and then one of these on the crease, and then you have a nice monochromatic look, which is what I like to do. So let's, of course, the shimmers are the most fun. So, very pretty. We have the Kaleidos Futurism 2 Cyber Bronze. So interestingly enough, I didn't actually order this. I got it for free because they sent this to me. I ordered the Astro Pink and they sent this one. So then they sent this one afterwards and I just kept this one because they didn't want it back. This is what it looks like. I have gotten some very nice looks out of this, believe it or not. To go in initially with this color, deepen with this color, and deepen more with this color, and then this silver on the lid is beautiful. I haven't really played around with these colors too much, but I've heard that this red is really, really good. So yeah, beautiful palette. Next up we have the Futurism 3. This is the Astro Pink, one of my favorites. I love this color story. It is, again, you can go in with this in the crease, then deepen with this, deepen more with this, and then, or go with this one and then this on the lid. So you could actually do all 5 of these in one look, or just 4 of them. So there are lots of directions that you can go and lots of different looks that you can do. So it is a, you know, multi-use, not multi-use, I can't think of the word. You can see there, those are nicely pigmented. I don't know, I'll show you a palette coming up here that I wasn't as happy with, and I don't know if they, I don't know, I've heard before, I've heard that they decided not to go with as pigmented shades because they were looking for something that would be a little bit more beginner friendly, because it is hard for beginners to go in with really pigmented shadows if you're not used to how to use them. So then I never did get the Futurism 4, I just am not into neon. So the next one is the Futurism 5, the Electro Turquoise. This is another one of my favorites. This right here is just gorgeous. What a beautiful color. Just put that all over my eyes and call it a day. The sparkles on there are really nice. That would be a really nice topper shade. So yeah, this one is really pretty as well. That orange seems like it's out in the middle of nowhere, sitting in the middle of all those beautiful greens, but I have heard it actually is a cohesive color story and the orange does make sense. It doesn't make sense to me, but I'm not a real fan of orange eyeshadow, so maybe that's why. Next we have the Futurism 6. This is the Lunar Lavender, a beautiful palette. Oh, I just used it a couple days ago. I got a really beautiful look out of it. These 2 purples are really nice. These 2 shimmers are nice. This is a decent shade, but I did not like this one. It just wasn't very impactful. I had a hard time getting it to really, you know, add depth to the outer corner. It when I blended, it just kind of blended away to nothing, so I wasn't very happy with that. This is a messy shade. I found it very messy. It's very kind of chunky, but the look I got out of it, I loved. I mean, this is just a beautiful color. Like it has that duochrome blue purple shift that is just gorgeous, and then this is really nice too. And then these 2, the purples were really, they were good, you know, nicely pigmented mattes. I enjoyed it. Well, I was frustrated by this palette, but I enjoyed the look I got out of it. I just wish I hadn't had to work so hard, if that makes sense. And then the palette I have not used, it's relatively new, is the Futurism 7 Sashimi City. So I am looking forward to using this one. Let's just swatch this gold. So that is a very pretty color. Ooh, I like that, and you can see it has it's a duochrome. It's kind of a pink to brown reflect to it. That's very pretty. So I'm looking forward to using this and seeing what kind of look I can get out of it. Okay, so now we are moving on to my Lorac collection. I have 3 Lorac palettes. The first is the Lorac Pro. I think this is the Lorac Pro 2. Yes, here's the cool toned Lorac Pro. What I liked about this one is, again, like I've said frequently, I like palettes that have a range of depth so that you have your lighter shades, your mid-tones, and then your darker tones. I found some of the other Lorac palettes were missing that. I've used this once and I was happy with it. I think it's a good companion palette for something that is all shimmers or shimmer heavy. I have a lot of singles. I won't be showing my singles in this collection video, but I will be showing them on a separate video. And most of my singles are shimmery shadows, so this is a nice companion palette for those. Then we have the 2 almost brand new palettes, the Lorac Pro Palette Noir and the Lorac Pro Palette Soleil. So this one is the darker of the 2. It has, again, this taupey silver that I love. A little more taupe than silver, I suppose. So I just love those tones there. That's really pretty. And then the Lorac Pro Soleil is also very pretty. It is lighter, and so it is really missing out on the darker tones, but as you can see, having the 2 palettes together gives you quite a bit that you can do. So I don't think that, you know, with all of these neutrals that you'd really want for anything else. So I've just had these for a couple of weeks now and I'm excited to use them more. I think they'll be great for winter because I tend to be, you know, you want to be more, I don't know, for some reason, more kind of a neutral glam with, you know, metallic, silvery, you know, metal, I guess, colors like copper and bronze and silver and gold remind me of the holidays and sort of Christmassy shadows. Next we have the Menagerie Cosmetics palettes that I have. So first is the Feral palette. Now, don't get mad at me, but I've played around with this. This is not what you were expecting, I realize. These are magnetic shadows, and I did buy quite a few of their singles and played around with rearranging some of the shadows. So I do have all of the original shades, and they're here in this palette that, this magnetic palette that Menagerie put out. And you can see that I have all of the original shadows right there, so they haven't gone far. And if I ever want to put it back to how it was before, I can always do that. But I just thought at the time I wasn't really in the mood for the reds and the purples and the pinks. I was just looking for more of those greens and neutrals and blues and whatnot. I also switched around this yellow. Night Eyes is a bright yellow shade, but I switched it to a shimmer. And then the Whale Song palette, which is one of my favorites. Again, I messed around a little bit with this one too. There's a couple of shades in here that I switched around. I can't really remember which ones, but I think it's a beautiful palette. This shade right here is Ooh La La. Very beautiful. You can just see the reflex there and the shimmer. It's so pretty. So that is Menagerie. Menagerie Cosmetics. Okay, next we have Marc Jacobs. This is the Stiletto. And you obviously know that I love this color story. It is beautiful. Here's one of those silvers I love so much. Yeah, that's beautiful. Love this, and it's perfect for the holidays. Then we have the Marc Jacobs Provocateur. I got this at a really nice discount from the, I think it was from the Boxy pop-up shop. So this one's very pretty. I love this color right here. Some nice neutrals. I have used this once and I loved the look I got out of it. Love the range of depth here from light, dark, mid-tones. It's very nice. Next we have my Maybelline City Mini Palettes. So there is this one, which is called Skyscape Dusk. That is what it looks like. It's an all matte palette. Then we have this one, which is Chill Brunch Neutrals. And then we have this one, which is Downtown Sunrise. These are all beautiful palettes. They're decent quality, not as pigmented as I would like. You have to struggle a bit to get your look. But I am decluttering all three of them. And the reason why is I have this color story 10 times over in several different palettes, and I would prefer to use those palettes than I would these. So these are going to go to a good home. Okay, so we're going to end part 2 with my Melt Cosmetics collection. I have She's in Parties. Love, love, love this palette. This is exactly the kind of palette that I like. It is easy to get a look. It's monochromatic, if that's the right word. Has a combination. The only one I don't care for is maybe this one right here, but I suppose it has its place. I've only used this once, and you know, you're thinking, well, how can you love it if you've only used it once? Well, because I don't do my makeup that often, and I pretty much only do my makeup for videos and if I'm going out for dinner. Otherwise, I don't work outside the home, so when I'm at home, I don't do makeup. So anyhow, I think that this is exactly my kind of palette, and I love it. Then we have the Melt Smoke Sessions palette. This one is beautiful. I love these colors. Very beautiful. And then last but not least is the Muerte palette. This one is also beautiful. It scares me. I've done one look with this side. I was very happy with it. I used mostly just the teals. I have not used these middle blues or these reds, so I'm excited to do that. And once again, we see this the same kind of light gold that we saw in the other palette. So that's interesting. If there seems to be a pattern there. It's a beautiful palette. The artwork on it is great. I did kind of want the other one, the matching one, but it's not really my color story, and I knew I wouldn't really use it, and the only reason I wanted it was because I wanted to have both of them, and sometimes I fall prey to that urge to just have it, just to have it. Yeah, so I think I counted that so far I have 13 palettes that I have decluttered, which isn't the most I've ever heard of. Not the worst though. It's not the best and it's not the worst. It's hard for me to let any of them go, even though I know I won't use them. I'm just thinking to myself, you know, I would rather see them get used by somebody else than just sit and collect dust in my own collection, because I just want them to have them. I don't want them because I'm going to use them. And it's silly, I know, but I guess that's what being a makeup collector is kind of all about. So stay tuned for part 3. That'll be up in a week or 2. Time is our most precious resource, and when you spend a little bit of your time with me, I really appreciate it. I hope wherever in the world you are, that you're well, that you're healthy, and that you're happy. I'd like to recommend or encourage you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Activate the notification bell so that you're aware of my uploads. Maybe comment down below, and thumbs up. That's it for me for today. Take care. Bye bye.